have a very big impact on Google search primarily. So let's understand like what are the basic building blocks of a search, what are large language models, how they all interact together. I think if we know those differences, then we will be able to answer this question whether with things like ChatGPT is Google's cash cow search business at risk. So, one fundamental difference between a search engine such as Google and large language model based products such as ChatGPT is that Google does not generate new data. All Google is doing is helping you discover data that already exists. Meaning, if you type certain keywords and Google basically indexes a bunch of documents that it has crawled over the internet, and as long as those keywords match the content of those documents, it basically serves them right up there, and it ranks it matches first of all those content of those documents with the keywords that you're writing, and then it ranks them in an order, and then it presents it to you on the search results page. So in that process, whenever a user sees search results, they can actually click on those links. These are the links that are original publishers of those documents, and they can read the data from there, right? So all Google is trying to do is actually just bringing those publishers to you so that you can directly go into their websites and read about them. That's all Google is doing, right? That's what a search engine is. And while they do that, based upon the keywords that you're typing, they also show you bunch of ads. That's where basically Google makes its money, right? Search as a service is free to end consumers, but they make money through all these different small and medium businesses, large businesses who are advertising on these different keywords that people are searching for. And you can see those ads next to those search results, right? That's the way Google monetizes its search results. Now, on a chat GPT kind of a system, wherein again you ask it certain questions, again you write certain keywords, and it gives you an answer. Now, the problem in this approach is that it only gives you one answer, whereas Google will give you maybe 10, 15, 20 links, right? That's one fundamental difference. Google doesn't give you a specific answer as such. All it does is that tells you maybe you will find the answer on these following websites that I'm sending you, right? On a chat GPT, you basically get one specific answer, and this answer is generated answer. It may not have been generated from one side, it have been generated from multiple sites, and it may not be exactly vomiting exactly what it sees on these different sites, because it is a generated answer, not like a fetched answer. So that's a fundamental difference in a generative AI based product versus a search engine. Second thing is, at least for now, generative AI doesn't monetize this result. But my thinking is nothing stops Google to basically monetize even generative AI content. Uh, for that matter, I would say you can actually go into Google search and enable generative AI. In fact, the first result that you will see on Google once you enable that thing will be actually based on generative AI. Essentially, essentially what you will see, if you enable generative AI, you would see that the first result that you get to see has a generative AI output, and then below that you have other search results. So if people think that Google has not already integrated generative AI in their search results, they are basically wrong. In fact, I would say yesterday I was actually checking out Facebook, and to my surprise, what I found out was when I was posting certain photographs there, even Facebook had an option that if you want to give the like the captions that comes across, do you want to generate it through AI? So even there, they are giving you options to generate the captions via AI. So that's out there. Then a lot of the tools that people use to author content like Word, Excel sheet, etc. Even there, they are integrating co-pilots and generative AI. So I have no doubt that people are using generative AI and all the productivity software, the collaboration software, editing software that we have. They have this option of generative AI nowadays, even in consumer products such as like search. posting social media feeds there also. If you have to write caption, they're giving you an option of generative AI that if you write few words, they'll give you certain options that you can present, which is actually good in one way. But I'm thinking, even if Google integrates generative AI, and let's say it only shows only one result, even then nothing stops Google to show different ads that are out there, right? Like how it is doing right now. So those people who are thinking that chat gpt in some way, shape, or form will take away the business from Google are, I would say, mistaken at this point of time. Because Google has already integrated not chat gpt, but already integrated generative AI in their own search infrastructure. You can do search on generative AI right now. Like, you can enable that in your search settings on Google, and the first result that you'll get will be generative AI generated result, actually, and the remainder set of results will be still coming from the existing search engine, right? So I think when people start making those kind of statements, they make it because they either do not fully understand the search engine, how it works, or they are extremely bullish upon chat gpt, saying that it will take away the business and it will become the real standard for everything. So I think chat gpt itself has a use, such and other tools such as co-pilots that people use in coding, wherein you can specifically give it specific prompts where it can generate you a piece of code that comes very handy to a lot of software developers when they are trying to think about like a prototype, or if they want to integrate a new, let's say, a library or things like that. To come from 0 to 1, it's a great tool, right? Because rather than searching, trying out different things, you can just give instructions to chat gpt, or to go copilot, and it will generate you a piece of code that you can use as a like a prototype, and then build your software on top of that. So for conducting initial research, which is what even people use Google for, there I can definitely see some shift, because people want some specific piece of code. Google will basically retrieve the code if exactly that code exists, whereas chat gpt will create that kind of a code if you are asking it. So chances are that you will be closer to a created code, which is what the chat gpt kind of does, or an LLM does. So I can definitely see some value there. But having said that, as I mentioned, at the end of the day, what Google is doing is it has indexed all the documents across the internet that were publicly available. And whenever you type those keywords on the search bar, it basically matches those keywords to the documents that it already has, and ranks them, and sends it back to you. So you see all the links of all the documents, and you click on the link which is most more suitable to you. Whereas on the other hand, what so nowadays, you can also see that a lot of people are building vector search engines. So in a vector search engine, the only thing, the difference that they do is that all the text that you write, the keywords that you write, are converted into vectors. All the documents that are stored in the index are stored in a vector database, because they convert all these documents also into vectors. And then you do vector to vector comparison, or cosine similarity, or Euclidean distance between the two vectors. So that's the only thing that is different. And the idea is, since vectors are a better representation of a natural language, so the comparison when we do between two vectors would be much better than when you do a keyword matching across general search engines. But thus far, right now, there is no concrete evidence that vector search engines are working better than the regular search engines that we have. In certain queries, it seems that like especially the bulk queries, which most of the people do across search engines, existing search engines seem to work better. But for long tail queries, niche queries that are there, it seems vector search engine seem to like give you the better results. But as a whole, because you will have there will be very few long tail queries, and then there will be bulk of queries. So like, if you can build an infrastructure that is a hybrid of a general purpose search engine that you already have, a legacy one, and then you add like a vector search engine on top of it, it takes as an input like a query, but the results are like coming from both these search engines. and based upon what has high likelihood of clicking, you basically serve those ranked results output. So I think future is like hybrid. You would need both the existing search engines and vector search engines to solve for mass user queries. That's the direction in which I think the industry will evolve. But I don't think vector search engines will take over the existing search engines as it is, because as I said, so far the experiments that have been run, they're basically inconclusive at this point of time. And also, I would want to point out that Google is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. They have already integrated generative AI in their search results. You can try it now. And then, even if, let's say, tomorrow the only search evolves into pure play generative AI, where they will not show you 10 different links, they will just show you one answer. Nothing stops them to still show different ads still. And again, you can click on the ads and go to the various websites, etc. But they can also show you a generative AI answer as well. So I think even with I think chat gpt has a bigger problem to monetize what they have today already in a profitable way. Google has already monetized their search in a very profitable way, right? Google in the last quarter already made 40 billion plus in revenues in Q3 of 2023. So Google is not going anywhere. They're still making a lot of money. In Q4 also they are going to make money. They will still come around, I think, 40 billion plus, but we'll see what the results are. So Google is not going anywhere. It is very important that we understand, vector search and a normal keyword search is not largely very different. Only thing is like how you store the actual documents and how the keywords are converted into vectors. Sometimes we use the word embeddings as well, but essentially it is like all the text is converted into numerical values. Same way, all the document is converted into numerical values. And generally, when you work with two numerical values, comparing the distance between the two numerical values in a vector space, it's much more easier than saying whether these two words are similar to each other or not. That's the fundamental difference that happens in vector search versus a simple keyword based search. So I hope you might have liked this discussion today. I tried to like tell it in as simple language as possible. What is the difference between a vector search versus a keyword based search? What is the deal with chat gpt versus Google? How does a search engine primarily works? So I hope if you have gained some knowledge here, please consider subscribing to this channel, liking it, and sharing it across your friends and colleagues. We come out with a lot of information about latest and greatest that is happening in the tech industry, in economics, in politics, and any kind of social causes. And we really like when you join and support us by commenting and asking questions. uh, After this conversation, we are soon going to meet into another topic of interest. Please write and let me know what you would like to hear. And please do consider liking this podcast and sharing it with your friends and family. Hope you are having a great time. We'll meet you soon.